Hello there, all of you wonderful, beautiful ladies and gentlemen of the internet. It is I, your boy here, Hatsuki Warrior 921, bringing you an important message video. It is, if you've read the title, and if you're a fan of either of these series, that's fantastic. Today I'm going to talk about it and get into it with you guys watching. And there's a few disclaimers I want to make before I start the video. Quite a handful. One, for sure. This video is in no way how close to any kind of attack on either Shenmue or Yakuza. If you love either one of those franchises, I just said it already, I'm happy for you, that's great. I'm a huge fan of both of them. Granted, I like Shenmue probably a lot more, but I still love both of these franchises. That doesn't mean I hate Yakuza at all. I'm just trying to say I personally kind of like Shenmue a little more. That's fine. I also love Yakuza for its very unique reasons, and we'll get into those. And different reasons. Number two. Oh yeah, there's going to be spoilers for both games. So, for sure. So if you want to experience the story of Ryo Hazuki's journey in Shenmue, or Kazuma Kiryu's, Ryo Hazuki's adventure and Kazuma Kiryu's journey, I guess you could say, from Yakuza / Ryu ga Gotaku, or like a dragon in Japanese, do yourself a favor and do not watch my video at the moment. Wait until you've actually played these franchises if you want to play them, okay? Or I guess if you really feel up to it, skip around the video. I have no idea when I'm going to say spoilers and not going to say spoilers. So if you don't care about spoilers, that's fine. If you already know the story, that's fine. So yeah, fair warning, okay? And then I'll do what I can to show video footage of each game. Granted the format that you're seeing. I know I'm not trying to cover my wonderful setup here. If you want to get a quick glance at it, I'll do my best to make it. Yeah, there we go. Because it's probably not going to be the thumbnail of the video. But there you go. And on this chair right here, I have all of the PS4 and PS5 Yakuza and Judgment games in my hands right here. So that's how this chair. That's going to be relevant later. So there's that too. So with that being said, yeah, let's get started. So something else just dawned on me. Another reason just dawned on me how different these two franchises are. It has to do with their consoles. We'll get to that later. I just kind of realized it. Hopefully I can remember because I may not be reminded of that. Alright guys, so the video is clearly called Why Yakuza and Shenmue Are Not the Same. Sorry for being loud, I'm sorry, my apologies. Let's split them up. These two franchises are not similar whatsoever at all. If you are a big fan of Shenmue from Yu Suzuki and Yakuza from, what was his name? He also worked on Shenmue. Toshihiro Nagoshi. If you're a big fan of Yakuza from Toshihiro, is it Toshihiro? Toshihiro Nagoshi. That's so hard. See, I'm sorry. I'm gonna edit that out. Because I hate Nagoshi. Okay, fine. I'll just refer to him as Mr. Nagoshi-sama, because he's very hard. His name is very hard for me to remember. It's just a very long Japanese name. And Yu Suzuki is so simple. So his name like Akira Toriyama or Hideo Kojima. For me, I can remember names like those, or even like Shigeru Miyamoto, but I cannot remember Toshihiro Nagoshi? Was that it? Toshihiro Nagoshi. I'll do my best to remember it, I promise, okay? But if you're a fan of each franchises, I'm very happy for you. That's great. If you're a fan of both at the same time, maybe you're kind of like me. That's great. I'm glad to hear it. If you've actually played through these games, you might already know where this is going to go. So I've noticed online every now and then people really like to compare Shenmue and Yakuza. We may not understand it that well. Personally, I'm a part of some groups on Facebook with Shenmue and Yakuza, And more so, I've noticed personally, it's Yakuza fans who don't really understand Shenmue. Now, don't be angry, don't get that confused. That's just what I personally kind of notice online, is that it's people who are do or die for Yakuza, love Yakuza death, it's a favorite freaking series, and then Shenmue gets brought up, and like, oh yeah, Shenmue, I've heard it's a lot like Yakuza, I heard that Yakuza is a lot like Shenmue, oh, Shenmue's not, this is whatever, no, like, alright, so, look, man, to me, personally, Shenmue is a masterpiece of art. But so is Yakuza, but it's in a very different way. Alright? Yakuza to me isn't as like soul grabbing or so like entering. What would be another word for that? So like encapsulating, I guess. It's something that something that touches and enters into your actual body by experiencing it. Something that's like really beautiful. That's like, oh my god, that was wow. That really got to me. That was magnificent. But like words can't even describe it. That to me is Shenmue. That to me is Shenmue without a mind style, without a heart style, without a soul style, without any kind of intuition doubt. Shenmue is just it's just something that I just cannot describe with words alone. To me, I think everyone out there should play it. And I'm not the first fan to express Shenmue like this, okay? Or at least in this sort of kind of similar way. Big fat shout out to my boy, Adam Koralik, who helped me get into Shenmue. I love that man. I don't know him personally, but Adam, if you're watching this, again, I must thank you so much for actually making videos about Shenmue and you expressing how much you love Shenmue. You are a big reason why I discovered it. And I've told this story before in a video. I have many videos on this channel, a whole backlog category about both Yakuza and Shenmue that I talk about each series respectively in said videos. So I'm not going to tell the whole story here, but I will give some insight to people who might be curious. Shenmue was the game I have dreamed of since I was a child. I've dreamed of a video game almost exactly like it since I was the age of maybe 12 or 11. And when I came to discover it as an 18-year-old person, or a young man, or 17, I think I may have been 17, I can't remember fully, I was mesmerized. I was awestruck. I was like, my favorite parent gaming publisher of all time, Sega, made the game I've always wanted this entire time, and I never knew about it. I was born in 1994, and Shenmue came out in the year 2000. Alright, put that into perspective. So in the year 2004, maybe I was 10. I think I was actually maybe 10 years old. I had the intellect, I had the idea to be like, oh man, wouldn't it be great if there was like a game that if you were like a kid or like a teenager, and you went to high school, you went home, you hung out with your friends, you went out and explored life. That game is sort of, it's Shenmue, but there's so much more to it. Because in my idea, I also thought about combat, battling enemies, maybe not real people. I didn't think of it to be like as realistic at the time, but like Shenmue was kind of more than what I dreamed. It was the premise. Some premises were very similar to what I wanted, but it did so many different things that are very beautifully unique. And it also did more than that. It opened up so much intellect and just like, well, it gave me a lot of intellect and understanding and love for Japanese and Chinese culture. Mostly Japanese because of martial art. I love Japanese culture because of a lot of different things. I'm nothing against other Asian cultures, but my forefront for sure is Japanese. I'm not too invested in like Korean or Chinese cultures, but Shenmue really opens up your mind to a lot of different perspectives of life. It's about a young man who leaves his country to another country, and he learns all about life there and through his journey, and it's incredible. It really is incredible, and they do a great job showcasing that. He leaves Japan, his hometown where he grew up, to this fish out of water city of Hong Kong. It's basically Hong Kong in China. It is, and then he leaves Hong Kong to go somewhere else that's kind of like on the coast of China. Guilin, I believe it's Guilin. And these are, yes, Shenmue uses real life locations, in case if you kind of missed that. It's not the first. It is kind of the very first video game ever to do that. Okay, it's not the. I'm sorry to say it's not the only game that does that, but it's probably the first video game to ever use real life locations in an open world environment. In an open world 3D environment, I think Shenmue deserves full credit for that. It deserves a lot of credit for a lot of different things, and it does. The video game itself does things that no other video game out there has ever explored or programmed. It's a reality that feels very believable and real. It's not. It feels like 90% or so close to an actual reality simulator in a video game. It really, really, really does come close. Especially Shenmue 3, because they added eating and stuff. The only things they're kind of missing are you're going to the bathroom or something, which they're not going to program that in the game, no. But in the first Shenmue game, you do see his toilet and you see his bedroom and stuff. So there's, there is that at least. But I'm being a little goofy, I know. But I'm also kind of being serious. Like, it doesn't come quite 100%, in some aspects like that. But it does come pretty damn close. And both Shenmue 1 and 2, the main character never eats. But he does sleep, but he never changes his clothes, he never bathes, you never see him do anything like that. But you kind of just have to imagine that he does, you just never get to really see it, you know what I mean? But in Shenmue 3, you do see a bit of that, you can change his clothes, you can feed him, but you still don't see him bathe or use the restroom or anything like that. I mean, they're not going to show like that kind of thing, maybe, detail or whatever, but you get my point. That's another big key element to Shenmue, detail. Shenmue is an open world and kind of a game, but its genre. I'm sorry, excuse me. I personally would not technically classify it as open world. Now, I'm not trying to sound arrogant. I'm not trying to sound like a prick. I'm not trying to sound like an asshole. I'm not trying to sound like I'm not trying to sound like I'm not trying to sound like I'm on an undeserving high horse or something, if you can catch my drift. But fact be told, okay, Shenmue 110% is in its own genre that no other video game is in, and that genre is called free. Yu Suzuki called it free itself, and I know it's technically not that really anymore. People have to come to say it's just an open world. It's just an open world RPG. It's a lot fucking deeper than just an open world RPG. It's an open world RPG life simulator. Like, you wouldn't just call it, and it's not really like, it's not a big world you explore. It's like, it's more like, here's this town, here's this city, here's this location, and you can really explore the tiny and big details of that said location. It's a little bit more than like your standard open world game than what you may expect. So really, to be fair, 100%, because Shenmue is so different and unique than like pretty much any game ever made, why shouldn't it be deserved to be in its own genre, right? Like, it kind of does. In my opinion, I think so, but that's just my opinion. It's not, I know I called it a fact a little bit ago, but it sort of is. Like, in my defense, Shenmue is one of a kind, 100%. Is it technically open world? You can classify it as that, of course. But it's, for a fact, its genre is one of a kind too. It's called free. You can also put in open world. You can also put in RPG. You can also put it in, 3D gaming if you want or something. But it works off actual dates, like April. It goes from November to April. The first game does. It's like a time limit though. There's a bad ending. If you play the game all the way to April, there's a bad ending. You can actually beat the whole story of the first Shenmue within like a little bit over a month. If you take your sweet time with Shenmue 1, you can beat Shenmue 1 with just a few days after December. Oh no, wait, it's like late November. So a little bit after the new year, after January, you can finish Shenmue 1. Right before, like, not even halfway of January. Like, within the first week or two of January. Shenmue 1 takes place from November 29th to the beginning of January, and the year is 1986. Or is it, I think it's 1986 or 1987. It's one of the two. I can't remember at the top of my head. Right. Now, I know I'm explaining a lot for Shenmue, but there's one very important thing to remember when it comes to Shenmue that I do really realize. It's still seems like a lot of people out there haven't played it yet, and it's not as popular as it maybe should be. Well, it's definitely good that it's getting more recognition, like, you know, with like the world of gaming. But even with the release of Shenmue 1 and 2 on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, people still don't give a shit. It's really tragic. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's good. You ever heard of Earthbound? Like, come on, you see how popular Earthbound's getting? And I love Earthbound. I love Mother. I'm a huge fucking fan of that. That's my second favorite series of all time. That's an old series. It's fantastic. It's my second favorite game series of all time. I just said that. It's my favorite Nintendo series of all time. However, I think Panzer Dragoon Saga might be becoming my true number one spot. But I still love Shenmue. I still love Shenmue. I don't know. I'm only on disc 3 of that game, and I love Saga so fucking much. But that's a whole nother can of worms story for another time. It's not really a bad thing though. It's a whole nother story. I just experiencing Panzer Dragoon Saga for the first time. It's an incredible game. That game is also truly one of a goddamn kind for sure on the Saturn. I don't know if I would give the game its own genre, but it's definitely something very special. But we'll talk about that game another time. I'm going to review it someday. I got to still review Panzer Dragoon 2. I'm sleeping on that. I still need to do that. I know, and I will. I know I keep jumping around. That was another disclaimer I should have made in the beginning of the video. I keep jumping around. I'm going to keep jumping around. I'm sorry. So one more jump is that I'm hoping this video is the only video that I make. I'm hoping this video gets uploaded in 2021. The date is October 2nd of that year, so I really hope so. Right now. But yeah. So I'm gushing about Shenmue. I'm telling you how much I love Shenmue. Good for me. I'm not the only human being. I shouldn't say that. I'm not the only human being who loves Shenmue. There are many fans out there that love it. I'm definitely not the only human being on the internet, on YouTube, on this website, this platform, on YouTube.com, or you know, it's a video format that talks about it, that loves it. No, I'm not. But I'm just hoping you understand that Shenmue is like a Leonardo da Vinci video game. Okay, like, do you know what I mean? It's a very unique, one-of-a-kind piece of art. It really, really, really is. And if you hate it, that's your opinion. It's your opinion. I have nothing to say about it, but shame on you. I'm sorry, but shame on you. It's not fully fair, but okay, whatever. There are people out there who don't like the Mona Lisa, so all right, fine, whatever. It is what it is. Okay, all right. So moving on to the other side of the table, Yakuza. All right, so I'll get more into. I will definitely talk about Shenmue later, maybe. So what makes Yakuza so special? Well, it's really cool. It's really hard for me to say, because Yakuza is not one of a kind, for one. It just isn't. There are many games out there that play very similar to Yakuza. Assassin's Creed does, Batman Arkham Asylum does, or Batman Arkham does, more or less. You know, Watch Dogs and Sleeping Dogs, but also not 100%. Okay? Yakuza plays its own way too. It's not really open world like those games are. It's more so like open district. It takes place in a fictional version of Japan's. It's called Kamurocho in Yakuza, but I think the real location is called oh shoot, what was it called again? It's like the red light district of Tokyo, I believe. I believe it is. Let me see. Kabukicho. Kabukicho. It's called Kabukicho. Kamurocho is modeled after Tokyo's Kabukicho, the well-known entertainment district of Shinjuku, whereas Sotenbori, I forgot about Sotenbori, which is also in Yakuza, is based on the main entertainment district of Osaka City called Dotonbori. So it's like a play on words. Sotenbori, Dotonbori, Kamurocho, Kabukicho, or Kabukicho, sorry. They're not just mere homages, however. Designers rebuilt these iconic locations building by building in the game engine. That is pretty fucking cool. Okay, so yeah, Yakuza is definitely more fictional right at the get-go. Those locations aren't even technically real. Sorry about that, but at least they at least in a way, it's kind of like a fun twist. It's like historical fiction, sort of. You know what I mean? But with a twist. It's like a little bit more, fiction. So is Yakuza's. I mean, not Yakuza. Shenmue, I might classify Shenmue a little bit as that, as a historical fiction, like maybe a teeny tiny bit as a video game. For the fact that it actually takes place in actual real life historical cities that exist today still, but they're still real life cities. I mean, yeah. And does it have any human being that's real in the games? I don't know for sure. It's possible that they might. I don't know. I think every character in Shenmue might be 100% fictional, but I would be lying if I did not believe that they are modeled off of real people. I think so. I think for sure most of the characters, at least in Shenmue 1, were modeled off of real human beings. They all each have their own backstory, believe it or not. You know, it doesn't tell you that in the game. There's like a whole log of that stuff online. But yeah, it's very real shit. It's very real shit. So they really went above and beyond when they made the first Shenmue. In general. Yu Suzuki is a fucking goddamn mastermind of an artist when it comes to gaming. He just is. He is a fucking incredible smart guy, or smart man when it comes to game design. He really is. He made something really truly unique. Sorry about that. Now, I'm not trying to shit on Yakuza. I already told you that. I'm just saying this is why it's difficult to compare it to Shenmue. Because what's one thing you notice right away about both series? Right? What's one thing you probably might immediately recognize on face value? They're both Japanese games. Very Japanese games that take place in a Japanese, or at least Asian setting, with a lead Japanese protagonist character who's a male. And they both go through some tragedies, but that's really about it. Well, this guy, Kiryu, goes through way more than what Ryo goes. No offense to Ryo. Ryo went through a lot. He does. But, holy fuck. Kiryu goes through way more hardships than Ryo could have ever imagined. It is super tragic what happens to Kiryu. Really fucking sad shit. Really fucking sad shit. Especially for the first Yakuza game. Oh my god, it is just so much to take in. See, that's one huge difference between Shenmue and Yakuza. Shenmue is kind of about healing through something really awful that happened to you. It really is. It's about a young man who's going through his life all over again after he lost his father. Sorry for the spoilers, but that's how the game begins. A mysterious, dark man named Lan Di comes to young Ryo Hazuki's house. He's only 18. I think it was on his birthday too, which is really fucked up. But yeah, and kills his father, Iwao Hazuki. He was a martial artist, master of karate. He was a dojo headmaster, basically. He owned his own dojo, and this man out of nowhere named Lan Di in this green silk outfit comes out of nowhere and just kills the guy. We still don't know why he did it, even after Shenmue 3. Now that's another thing I want to say on the side. I fucking love Shenmue 3. And if you don't even try, bro. Don't even try. Because I know exactly why you don't like the game, and that is really not fair. And the reason why it's not fair is because that shit ain't fucking true in the first place, alright? And let me elaborate what I mean by that. Shenmue 3 was never supposed to be the closure of Shenmue. The Shenmue 3 that you see right here, right now, in front of your goddamn face, is the game we always were meant to have. It is designed in a very different engine, it has newer graphics, maybe there's a little bit more you can do than Yu Suzuki originally wanted, but it's the exact same game that was planned for the Dreamcast all those years ago. So it's not fucking fair to be pissed off about that. You have nothing to be mad about. He gave you exactly what he wanted to do. If you love Shenmue 1 and 2, but you can't say Shenmue 3, that's a little shitty in my opinion. It just is. It's just more Shenmue. It literally is more of that. Now here's one other thing about Yakuza and Shenmue, which is very similar to Dragon Ball and One Piece. For Yakuza, you could play any of these games and understand the story. Me personally, out of respect and love, I'm playing them in timeline order because I just kind of love it. I only started Yakuza 3 and Shenmue 3. I still in the beginning of both games. But I understand a little bit of what happens in the future titles and in the side series Judgment. For Shenmue, it's the complete opposite. Much like One Piece, you really need to start from the very beginning. Like you need to start Shenmue 1. One very important thing to learn and know, and what is for sure factual about Shenmue, is that it is like one video game split into like different video games. It's the truth. It's not quite the same as like the Star Wars or Back to the Future trilogy. But it basically is though. Like it's like you can't just start with Back to the Future 3. You can't just start with The Empire Strikes Back or Star Wars, Episode 5 and Episode 6. No, you gotta start with the first one. That's just the kind of story that it is. So yeah, okay, it is very similar. But for Yakuza, each game reminds you like what happened in previous events. Characters talk about it, they like catch up and stuff. The story doesn't always move like it does for Shenmue, Star Wars, Back to the Future. You know what I mean? Like those stories, they're always moving. Things are always happening. There's no break. In Shenmue, the story just keeps going. The journey just keeps going. So yeah, that's just the kind of story it is. But yeah. So yeah, and okay. So there's another similarity I want to make. Alright, I really gotta stop jumping all over the place because I know it's not fair. And you guys are probably just like, what? Okay, well, that's a good point, but what? Because I'm like talking. Alright, all here and there. So, I don't think it's totally fair to hate either series, but everyone's different. And if you want to hate Shenmue, if you want to hate Yakuza, it's fine. It's your opinion. I cannot say shit to you about that. It's just not fair. It's not fair because you are gonna feel the way that you're gonna feel. If you've played either game, if you gave them a shot, you weren't a fan, that's okay. But for Shenmue, you really should give it a second chance. And I'm not the first person to say that. My man again, Adam Koralik, yeah, he's really emotionally attached to Shenmue. And yeah, I am too. It's a lot fucking more than just a video game. It really is a piece of art that will touch your soul. And I'm not the only fan that thinks that way. Shenmue really opened my horizons, not just for martial arts in Japan and beauty and art and all these wonderful things, but for gaming. My perspective on gaming changed dramatically. It grew. I didn't see gaming the same way after I played Shenmue. Shenmue. It really changed me. It really, really did change me. And I mean like just the first game. Just the first one. Shenmue was supposed to be a 16-chapter story. Not a 16-game series, but a 16-chapter story. Shenmue 1 to Shenmue 3 are chapters 1 to 6 or 7, I believe. Yes. I'm serious. We're not even halfway done yet or so. Yu Suzuki, I think, originally wanted it to go up to 7 games. I think that might be true still. And in my own personal opinion, in the far, far future, whether Yu Suzuki's still alive or he passes away, and I really hope to God he has some kind of apprentice, because he is getting old. That will carry on Shenmue for him. Maybe it's his daughter. I have no idea, but there needs to be somebody out there that understands Shenmue the exact same way he does. That's the beauty it is. But it's just so much of him. Like it is him. It is like the thing he made. Like you can't. It would be like if George Lucas died in the middle of making Star Wars Episode 5. It's like what the. Even though if he didn't direct it, it'd be like what the fuck do we do now? It'd be kind of like that. The story was still there, but at least I'm just hoping that he at least created the story and some baseline work. Or even a little bit more than that, for whoever the hell can take over, for a yeast net and everything to finish it, if he passes away. I love that man so much, but he is getting old, so... Yeah, I mean, I think his daughter is like around my age. I'm 27, so... Yeah, I don't know. My parents are getting old too, but that's they're fine. that is off topic. But my point is that he probably has quite a bit of time left, but I'm just really hoping to God that we get a Shenmue 4 announcement like next year. Because we really should get one soon. I was hoping it'd be this year. But since COVID happened, I think it pushed all that back. So I was not expecting it in 2020, with or without COVID-19. With or without coronavirus, I was not expecting a Shenmue 4 announcement in 2020 anyways. it would have been great. I was like, yeah, that would have been fucking awesome. But honestly, realistically speaking, looking back in retrospective, even without that, Shenmue 3 came out at the tail end of 2019. That would be kind of unfair. If anything, I would have expected an announcement for Shenmue 4 at the tail end of 2020. I don't think E3, no. But the tail end, yes. So because the world got pushed back quite a bit, who knows when a Shenmue 4 announcement is going to be. I'm really hoping it's at the middle of next year. I really am. I'm hoping and praying to God here that we get a Shenmue 4 announcement super soon. Or somewhat. Not saying rush the game. I'm just saying, please, Yu Suzuki, we know you want to make it. Come on. He wants to make the series. That's why he gave us Shenmue 3. He didn't have to do that, but he did. You know, I'm not going to say, it's not, if you ever heard anyone tell you that we were this close to losing Shenmue 3, that's a complete lie. Because Yu Suzuki has always wanted to make Shenmue 3. He just never got around to it until fairly recently. We were never close to losing it. It was not a matter of losing it or not. It was a matter of, is it going to happen or what? And I never thought it would. I just got into Shenmue in 2013. 2013. 2 years before Shenmue 3 was announced. I had zero speculation, zero expectation, zero anticipation, zero reality like visions or anything about Shenmue 3. No, I had no idea. I thought, man, you never know. And then it happened. Now, I didn't beat Shenmue 2 yet. Shenmue 3 was announced in the summer of 2015, and it was one of the happiest days of my entire life. It was. However, I wasn't able to go outside. I was at my school. I was at a trade school, and I was in class when I heard the news. I really badly wanted to, yeah, fuck you, yeah, just run out of the hallway, but I couldn't, you know, because I was in school. So I couldn't. I was like, oh my god, you got! Oh! I was so surprised and happy. It was just so unbelievably great. And then I saw my boy, the Happy Console Gamer Johnny's video. He was crying. And so was Adam. Yeah, man. And they both seem to really love this. Oh, I don't know about Johnny. Johnny, I don't know. He seems a little bit indifferent. But Adam and I agree with Adam Koralik 120% here about Shenmue 3. Even more so. Yeah, he's absolutely right. He loves the game to death. It's a game you've always wanted. I'm loving it. I'm loving the fuck out of it too. I think it's a great game. I haven't even left Bailu, or is it Bailu Village? Yeah, I think it is. I haven't even left Bailu Village yet, and I'm taking my time. You're supposed to. That's what Shenmue is, and I'm loving it. You are. I know. There's a time limit, but it's not about that. It's not supposed to be stressful. Like when you get into it and play it, you're not gonna think about it. You're gonna be like, wow, this is a really, really peaceful kind of game. Somewhat. At least Shenmue 3 definitely. But 1 is really sad. It's about this super fucking awful thing happens. And then 2 is alright, well now we're kind of getting through it. And then 3 is okay, now we're at a point where things might actually get better. It really is like that. So, yeah, even though if you lost your father, which is horrible, or somebody you care, things will still heal. You know, it's not I'm not saying, for anyone out there who's going through it, I'm not saying that you're going to get over it. No, fuck, no. No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that life will get better. That's just without a doubt, and it does for Ryo. He meets a really, really good friend, Shenhua. She's a very important character, and everything. And he meets some other really important friends like Joy and Ren and Wong and oh god, I can't remember their names. Well, I can, but I also can't. And is anybody I'm forgetting that he meets in Shenmue 2? Well, he meets his masters. Those are guys like Guizan, my boy. Guizan and Master Chen, and oh my god, I love Ren and Guizan. And again, for Dragon Ball, it's speculation. I don't want to fully compare these characters with Dragon Ball characters, but if Ryo was like Goku, or for pretend, Guizan would be his Piccolo, and Ren would be his Vegeta. Sort of. You gotta play the game. It's more let's say Ryo's let's say Ryo Hazuki is Luke Skywalker. Guizan's kind of a younger Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let's say Obi-Wan Kenobi in his prime, in his youth, knew Luke Skywalker. Ren is like Han Solo. It's kind of more like that, actually. Yeah, it's kind of exactly more like that. So, yeah, if you can imagine that for a Star Wars, comparison or whatever. But yeah, so Yeah, again, I don't want this video, Shenmue is taking the most of this video. I know, I'm sorry. But I can't help myself when I get about Shenmue. So, where the fuck was I going with this again? With characters and shit. How unique Shenmue is to Suzuki and everything. It's great, Shenmue's great. So, okay, let's finally talk about the key elements and differences. Okay, yes, I was talking about realistic cities, Yakuza and everything. So that's one more similarity about Shenmue and Yakuza that I can think of. Is that it's really just the first game compared to the entire series. It takes place in a Japanese city. That's it. That is it. That is the only other comparison. Yakuza 0 takes place, it's not over there, it's over here. Yakuza 0 here takes place pretty much the same year as Shenmue, a very similar year, so yeah, that's another similarity that I can at least give them. 1988 Japan, which is right there, back of the case. Shenmue, on the other hand, I believe takes place in 1986 or 7, like I said. But yeah, that's another somewhat close similarity. But yeah, so moving on. Again, there's just so much to get into when you want to talk and explain stuff about Shenmue. You really got to do your research. If you know nothing about Shenmue, I'm hoping this first 40 minutes at least gave you some idea. If you're curious, if any of these things sound like enticing to you, please do yourself a favor and do more research. You'll never know what you might like until you fucking try it. You never played Shenmue before, please give it a shot. It's on PS4, it's on PC, it's on Xbox One. If you have any of those systems, if you play on PS5, if you have any Dreamcast, right, of course, if you have any of those consoles and you never played Shenmue before, or you want to get one of those consoles to play Shenmue, do it. Or devices, because PC. Do it. Seriously. I promise you will not be disappointed. If you sound if I have remotely caught your interest, like, oh, wow, like that sounds really cool, play it. It is definitely worth your time. It is definitely worth your time. I'm not kidding. Wow. And for people who don't understand Shenmue, they just don't have any patience. And fuck those assholes. I'm sorry. Like, there's a difference between like maybe not liking something and not understanding it. They're kind of one and the same though. So. Whatever. Shenmue really does require patience. If you have no patience, well, then probably not even watching this video. Alright, so how else... So let's finally get into how Yakuza is different from Shenmue. 45 minutes later. Okay, sorry about that. So, one big major difference, for sure, are their themes and their stories are incredibly different. And their gameplay styles are incredibly different. They both have very great, memorable, beautiful, wonderful characters. That's another similarity. Their characters. Shenmue has, especially the first. Actually, I say Shenmue 2, even 3, somewhat. The Shenmue games have wacky characters, fun, goofy characters that you may run to once in a while. So there's Yakuza. There's some fun, goofy characters that you'll run into. One of the main, greatest, wonderful, bestest video game characters ever, possibly, from Shenmue, from Yakuza, my boy, Goro Majima. He is an incredible character. Unfortunately, this is the only game you ever get to play as him in, like a main story, except for Yakuza Kiwami 2, which is a remake of the original Yakuza 2. But it's over here, I'm sorry. You get to play as him again in this game. But it's like a side story with 3 different chapters. It's very short. I really wish that Majima should maybe just have his own game. I mean, you really get your fill with him in this game, but like he really should have his own story. But yeah, you unlock each chapter throughout Yakuza 2, and it's not enough. But it's a very gameplay wise, it's not enough, but story wise, it is. Especially if you play Yakuza 0, and with this very important person to Majima, he actually comes full closure with her in Kiwami 2, and it's very beautiful. I think I was crying when I saw what happened. If I can remember right, because wow, I'm so happy they actually concluded their story in some kind of way. Holy fuck! With Makoto, she is super important. to this. She is the heart of this game. And for Yakuza 1, the heart of Yakuza 1 is right there in the center. That's Haruka. She's super important too. Now, would I say the heart of Shenmue is the main character, Ryo Hazuki? I don't know. I think he's definitely a part of it. I'd say Landi's, that's the villain, Landi. These two characters are definitely the hearts. They're like a unified heart of Shenmue. Ryo Hazuki and Shenhua. He doesn't meet Shenhua until the very tail end or so of Shenmue 2. She's in China, so he's in Japan. Right, so he doesn't meet her until... Now, Shenmue 1 and 2 are split into 3 or 4 discs. Shenmue 1 is 3 discs. Shenmue 2 is 4 discs. On disc 4, you finally get to meet her in Guilin. It's such a magical moment. It's so beautiful the way it's done. It's one of my favorite video game moments and just gameplay experiences of all time. Walking and talking with Shenhua and getting to know her and just in that beautiful forest and just getting about her father and her past and getting to hear about Ryo's past. And it may not sound like much, but if you actually experienced it and played it, you're gonna feel happy, relieved, like wow, like that's really fucking cool that they actually did all that. Maybe it depends how much you love Shenmue. And then there's the Tai Chi scene with Ryo at night when he's doing Tai Chi, and there's that scene when Shenhua's singing in the tree. Oh my god, it is so fucking good. The disc 4 of Shenmue 2 is one of my favorite video gaming experiences of all time. It is so good. It is so good, especially if you loved Shenmue from disc 1 all the way to Shenmue 2 of that moment, especially if you loved all of it. You know, and you didn't want to miss a beat. That's another beautiful thing about Shenmue. Its pacing is so good. It's very gradual. It's slow, but like when something really action-packed and important happens, it's like whoa. Now that's another thing about Shenmue. It mimics reality very, very well. It does. But yeah, that's one of my favorite gaming moments of all time. So yeah, I love it, and I don't want anybody out there to get the wrong idea about my opinion about Ryo and Shenhua. I personally do not ship them. If anything, I really hope that the very finale ending of Shenmue, if you don't know anything about Shenmue, let me slow down a bit. There is a female character in Shenmue 1, the very first game, that lives in the same hometown as Ryo Hazuki. Her name is Nozomi, and Nozomi is like, you know, the high school girl that's like the girl, I think they're childhood sweethearts, but like they don't tell each other how they really feel, but they also kind of do. Nozomi tells Ryo a little bit how she really feels about him, and he tells her a little bit about how he really feels about her. And people out there are like, oh, their chemistry's not really there, but it is. It is. Like, you can tell that they love each other and care and they want to be with each other. But here's the tragic part. Her parents live in Canada. She's actually living in Japan, Yokosuka, Japan, with her grandmother. And so near the end of the game, or I think it's actually near the middle-ish part of disc 2 or so, whatever, I think, she tells Ryo she's going back to Canada with her parents soon. And at the same time, Ryo's living in Hong Kong, and it's very sad for both of them. They both don't want to leave home like this, but they do. You know, Ryo has to find the man who killed his father. He wants revenge, but I think throughout Ryo's journey, he's going to actually discover the truth. I'm pretty certain that Shenmue is going to end with you, the player, having the decision to either spare Landi's life or kill him. I'm really hoping that's how it ends. That it gives you the choice as Ryo Hazuki to either kill him or spare his life. And I think if you choose to kill him, it's going to really destroy Ryo Hazuki. It really will. Like as a person. If you choose to spare him, I think it could possibly help save Landi. And if you don't know what I mean by that, play the games. Okay? He's a soul suffering too. He believed that Ryo Hazuki's father killed his father. That's why, yes, Landi believes that Iwao Hazuki, Ryo Hazuki's father, killed Landi, his own father. I forgot his name. I forgot Landi's father's name. I think it's mentioned, but he believes Iwao killed his dad. That's why he won revenge. And you actually hear about that in the very beginning of Shenmue 1. Now, Lan Di appears to be a very dark and evil man. But then you meet another character in Shenmue 2. One of my most favorite video game martial artist masters, or just martial artist masters in a fictional story of all time, Master Li Xiaotao, aka Shu Wing. She does not get enough credit. She is an incredible character. She's so fucking cool and deep and mysterious. And she has a very sad backstory. And she's also very monotone. She doesn't show much expression. She tells Ryo, don't seek revenge because he'll destroy you, and she's seen it firsthand with her brother. Who do you guys think her brother might be? Now here's another thing about Shu Wing. Both Shu Wing and Lan Di have very similar martial artist styles. Yeah. They both move incredibly swift, and Ryo cannot attack either one of them. Some food for thought. I'm just saying, it's a theory, but I really hope it's true. 2 Shenmue theories that I really hope, and a handful that I hope come out to be true at the end of the story. That's another thing. Ryo Hazuki's journey isn't over yet. Kazuma Kiryu's is. We'll get to Yakuza, I promise. I know. I just want to get all of Shenmue out of the way first. I know. And I will. Oh boy! Please do not do this video as me shitting on Yakuza. Please. I'm not. But I don't have much positive to say in comparison. Or yeah, maybe not as much to say. Just free warning. Maybe. But I do have quite a bit to say still. We'll get to it. Just be patient. Alright, so here are my handful of theories about Shenmue. What I think may happen with Shenmue. Okay. So, theory number 1. Okay, we're talking about Lan Di and Shu Wing. I think they're related. I think when she tells Ryo Hazuki about her brother, she doesn't call him Lan Di. She calls him, I forgot his name, but I think they're the same character. In fact, you do see him as a child, and I think their faces match a little bit, Lan Di's and the young child version of her brother. I think, if I can remember right. So then there's that. Okay, so as for theory number 2, again, there's 2 characters that kind of fall to this other theory I had. Again, I do not ship Ryo and Shenhua. I ship Ryo Hazuki and Nozomi for my, I just kind of see it going that way. I just really do. So, with that being said, I obviously don't ship them because I want to believe that Ryo and Shenhua came from the same mother. Now that sounds ludicrous, possibly crazy. You might think I'm dumb, you might think I'm like a little mentally ill or something, but let me explain. Especially if you play Shenmue 3. I've had this idea since the ending of Shenmue 2. I think Shenhua, you actually see Shenhua's mother. Now, in Shenmue 1, there's a secret basement in Ryo Hazuki's dojo. In said secret basement, there's a drawer. There's like this room with like all these different like antiques and like drawers and mirrors and stuff. Just old things that his father stored away that Ryo never knew about. And in one of these drawers, he finds like Chinese designed like makeup and just he finds a comb. He finds, I think, like a little hand mirror. I think he actually might find, I don't know if it's makeup or not, but things that a woman would use to basically, like groom herself, like her hair and everything, to take care of herself. He finds things that his mother possibly had, and they were Chinese. He looks at it and he's just like, it doesn't look Japanese, or he says something like that. So that's clue number 1. Clue number 2 is that in Shenmue 2, when Ryo and Shenhua meet, they talk a bit, they talk about the past, and then we see Shenhua as a little baby. And we see her mother and her father. You actually get to see her mother. This doesn't really have anything to do with my theory or anything, but shortly after that, her mother kind of mysteriously disappeared. now that leads me to theory number 3, which each theory has to do with each Shenmue game, which is kind of funny. Maybe, or not a theory, clue, each clue. Maybe that's what Yu Suzuki's doing. Maybe Yu Suzuki is slowly trying to tell us who their mother is with each game. He's giving us one tiny clue or so about, or one like mentioned or like relation or some kind of something with a mother to Ryo and Shenhua in each game. Holy fuck. Maybe. But anyways, clue 3. Maybe I just discovered something about Shenmue. I don't know. Shenmue still has a lot left open for people to discover. It's kind of fun to like theorize stuff like this. So, okay, theory number 3. In Shenmue 3, you, as Ryo Hazuki, live in Shenhua's house for a little bit because her father's disappeared. He got kidnapped. So you're trying to find him. So he's helping her out. One night, the two characters talk about their, each night they talk about a little bit about themselves. Shenhua asks Ryo about his mother. Now you, as Ryo Hazuki, answers the questions with like a little answer wheel in the top left hand corner of the screen. That might be your right. I don't know. It's my left. So I'm sorry. But okay, fine. Top left hand corner of the screen. So there's like an answer wheel. Okay, so no matter what you say, both Ryo and Shenhua, I think, have very similar answers. And the one I picked, I don't know if it's this exact answer or not, but it correlates or it like follows through this conversation. Ryo says he doesn't remember much about his mother. He says that his mother, he doesn't remember her at all. He's like, she was gone since I was like 2, pretty much. Shenhua says practically the same thing. I don't fucking know. Maybe they're not brother and sister. It might be a Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker thing. I don't know. Yu Suzuki also went on record and said Shenhua is super important. And she has like a mystical aura. There's just something about her that's supernatural. She can understand animals. This is not a lie. I know that sounds laughable. Shenmue is a very grounded, real thing. Like, in terms of gaming, it's designed to be very grounded and like believable. 90% of it is. But, just like reality, sometimes in life, you might see or discover something that just may not make sense. No science can possibly explain it. It happened. You might think you might be a little crazy. You might think your eyes are playing tricks on you. But chances are it probably did happen. Whether you want to believe it or not. The supernatural is just a part of reality as reality is. With that being said, whether you want to agree with me or not, doesn't matter. My point is, Shenhua has mystical powers. She can actually talk to animals. They actually talk to her. This is a fact within the Shenmue story, okay? When Ren, one of my favorite fucking characters ever, I can smell the money in the air. That's like my catchphrase. When he first sees and meets Shenhua, he's like, yo, Ryo, I got a weird vibe about this girl. This is feeling weird being around her. I don't know what's going on. She feels weird, just her presence. Right? He can sense it. They're hinting at it. They're hinting at some pretty big shit that I'm really hoping gets discovered someday. Shenmue, yeah, and then there's Shenmue Online. Shenmue Online was a canceled game that never came out for Shenmue, but it's CG trailers. They showed a lot of crazy, like, there's like this like magical dragon that came out, kind of like Shenron from Dragon Ball and stuff, like made of like a lightning bolt that went to the clouds. That came, I think, out of the Phoenix and Dragon Mirror. That's right, the Phoenix and Dragon Mirror. They are the MacGuffins of Shenmue. A MacGuffin is like a mystical, powerful element, or like an item, like a Dragon Ball, or like Harry Potter's wand, or Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, or something. It's like the important object of the story. So, or like Luffy's straw hat, maybe, for example. I think that's technically a MacGuffin, right? It doesn't always have to be an item that's powerful. It's just an item that's just important and has a strong importance to the story. Now, what is the Dragon and Phoenix Mirror? Well, I wish I could show you. I actually have them. I forgot to grab them, but they're important. They're important to Shenmue. They have a lot of mystery too. All right, so Ryo Hazuki has the Phoenix Mirror. Landy has the Dragon Mirror. Yeah. I know, it's fucking crazy. Right. So, yeah. Okay. One more big last thing about Shenmue. This is a big opposite compared to Shenmue and Yakuza. Shenmue 2, right here, is the strongest game running on the Sega Dreamcast. It pushes the console to its very limit. And it is a gorgeous game. It looks like an early 7th generation game. Like, I swear to God, I think it does. Personally, it doesn't even, you don't have to call it that. Like, the game itself, for what its art style in general, is very unique. I think the graphics hold up incredibly well to this very day. Especially when they pop on in HD. They look incredible. And this is a fan-made, unreleased version of the game on the Dreamcast. This is a North American style design case. It wasn't released in North America here on the Dreamcast. It was released on the original Xbox. So something else, in case you don't know this, it's very easy to burn Sega Dreamcast games on CD-ROMs and play them on Dreamcast. It's a whole process. It's not too hard to figure out. Long story short, Sega used their own proprietary disc format called GD-ROM discs. It stands for gigabyte disc ROMs. Okay, for the Dreamcast, for Shenmue. You may not even know what a Sega Dreamcast is. And when it comes to Shenmue, you really need to do your research. There's just so much to explain and understand. That's why it's taking up a lot of this video. I'm sorry, but one very important thing is I was able to finally make these. For the English speech mod of Shenmue 2. If anybody out there is asking how the hell I got to make these, and they want these disc images, I will possibly make a video about it in the future. I need at least 2 or 3 comments before I make a video. People are like, oh my god, that's so cool, how'd you make that? I've always wanted the 99-minute version of Shenmue 2. So, if you want me to make a video about it, I will. And if you want me to release these publicly, maybe I can upload them media file or something. These disc images. I will definitely make a video about it. 99-minute CD-ROM discs are a little hard to find. But that's just disc 1. Disc 2 looks different. And then disc 3 and 4 are different too. Disc 3 is strong. That's the Chi-Yu-Men symbol. That is Landy's tattoo. Chi-Yu-Men are very important to the Shenmue story. They're like the empire of the story. And then there's disc 4, which I think that's a phoenix and a dragon, if I remember right. Which is very symbolic of what disc 4 is kind of about. With the cave at the end and everything. But yeah, I know. Shenmue, man, I'm telling you, it is, when you really discover it, you get something really fucking gorgeous that is unforgettable. And Shenmue, I should have said this from the very beginning, and I swear to you, I'm not the only person that believes this. Shenmue is not a video game to be watched on YouTube or to that kind of degree. It is to be played, to experience it. It is a perfect, beautiful, gorgeous blend, combination of story / narrative and gaming / experience. It is that sort of perfect experience. Shenmue is more than just a game. It is an experience. I swear to God. So, if you're interested, play the fucking game. I'm telling you, man, you will not be disappointed. Alright, I'm done gushing about Shenmue at this point. So I told you, Shenmue 2 was the strongest game on Dreamcast. And that's a big polar opposite to Yakuza Showdown on the PS2. Shenmue to me personally, I think the first Yakuza game is one of the weakest, graphically speaking, looking games on the PS2. That right there is a complete polar opposite. Plus, the consoles themselves are sort of like polar opposites. They were really like, Sega was really pushing for the Dreamcast to be an important system. There's that. Plus, there's the popular, it's a Grand Theft Auto clone bullshit that people say, or like, statement. It's not true. It's not true. Yakuza is a lot more than just some kind of Grand Theft Auto clone. Yeah, this, if you've ever played this game or its remake, is probably more than likely, if you have a soul, if you're a human being, it absolutely should be one of the saddest video games that you will ever experience. This game is fucking sad as fucking shit. I know, there's a lot of people out there that exist that don't care about story when it comes to games, blah blah blah, whatever. That's not my fucking point, okay? That doesn't change the fact that Yakuza is a very sad game. It is. The main protagonist experiences a lot more than just the death of his father. Plus, one big difference between Kazuma Kiryu and Ryo Hazuki is their age difference. Kiryu Hazuki is only 18. He's growing as a young adult. Kazuma Kiryu here is well in his late 40s or early 40s or mid 30s or so in this game. In Yakuza 0, he is no different than Ryo Hazuki. He's a young man. He's like, I think he's 20. Still, and he acts like it pretty much. Ryo Hazuki is kind of like he's slowly growing into a different character. He's slowly becoming more. He starts off really sad and angry, upset, obviously, but then he kind of grows into a more peaceful character that's like one with himself and nature. So he goes through he goes through like a character arc, right? Kazuma Kiryu doesn't really get a chance to grow. He's always like he's kind of a static character, sort of, because he's always experiencing tragedy. It's not fair. He's one of the saddest vegan characters of all time because his life is just so fucking horrible. It's not even his own fault. But it does get better for him. It absolutely does. By Yakuza 3, he has his own orphanage with kids he raises, and it's beautiful. He becomes a father. Something he kind of always maybe wanted. Actually, in Yakuza 0, there's a funny sub-story. He meets this fortune teller character that tells him all these things. He's like, that's not going to be me. But it is. And it makes things even more sad. Again, I told you from the very beginning, this video contains spoilers. So, if you are playing Yakuza 0 and you love the shit out of this game, stop watching now. Because a lot of characters that you might love in this game don't make it. And some of them change for the worst. At least one does. This character on the left, right here, believe it or not, if you don't know yet, is Nishiki, Akira Nishikiyama, Kazuma Kiryu's best friend and brother. Yeah. They're not blood brothers, but... Well, they're not biological brothers. They're both raised in an orphanage by a Yakuza chairman named Kazuma. I forgot his first name. But he is Kiryu's and Nishiki's father. And they have somewhat of a sister, too, but they both love her. So, and they're not really by blood. Remember, they're all adopted children, grown to adults, named Yumi. Now, Yumi loved Kiryu very much. And there's actually a woman that loved Nishiki. Her name is Reina. She owned like her own bar named Oh God. Oh man, how can I forget its name? Shit. Fuck. It was called not Sotenbori. How can I forget? I'm a horrible person for forgetting. Hold on. Serena. I think it was Serena. Yeah, Serena. That was it. Serena. Serena is a very important location to Kiryu. It's kind of like a second home to him. He spent most of his time there with Nishiki and Yumi and Reina. They're all like family. And then, yeah, he loses all of them. All three of them die. in only Yakuza 1. And so does his father, Kazuma. They all get taken away from him. And throughout this tragic experience, he meets Yumi's daughter, Haruka. Yeah, she's incredibly important. She makes it. He ends up with her, and he raises her as his own kid. She never calls him father, though. She calls him Uncle Kaz. The reason why, though, I think, is because it's out of respect for the fact that he is technically, in an adoptive sense, her mother's brother. But they loved each other to the point that they could have been a family. In fact, they were about to be, and then Yumi gets fucking killed by, believe it or not, Haruka's actual biological father. Jingu is a piece of fucking human garbage. I wouldn't even call this guy a human. He is a piece of fucking shit. He almost kills his own fucking kid. And he mentally tortured Nishiki. Nishiki becomes this evil piece of shit human being because of Jingu. It's like a Darth Vader and Emperor Sidious kind of situation. It's not really Nishiki's fault. He was a soul in massive pain that didn't know how to handle it the same way Kiryu could. Kiryu handled it a lot better than Nishiki did for sure. But it happened to Nishiki way before it happened to Kiryu. So Nishiki, it's super tragic what happens. Oh my god, it's so fucking, this is all in this game. I'm not even kidding. It is. This game, these games, right here. All this super sad shit that is super fucked up happens. It's not fair for Kiryu. It is not fair for him to bear. It's not. And, I feel really bad for him. I feel like I might want to cry for the man. It's really sad. And one very fucking true thing about Kiryu and Majima. They are the pinnacle of men. They are a man's man. They really are. Shenmue taught me how to be a young adult, growing into an actual man. But Yakuza showed me what it's really like to be a man once you reach that point. How it is to stay that way. Yeah, and now I'm a bit of a young father, growing into, a bit of an older father. I got Kiryu here. He's a father. It's a really good, he's a really good influence. He's a really good fictional influence from my actual life. The way how he raises Haruka in his life and everything, him and Haruka have a very special relationship as, father and daughter. They really, really do. And she's not even his only kid. Now, his kids aren't really his biological kids, but he adopts a lot of kids by Yakuza 3. He has this huge orphanage called, I forget, I think it's not called Sunflower. Sunflower is one that he grew up in. But he creates his own. And I remember, I've only played the beginning of Yakuza 3. And I almost called it Shenmue, I'm sorry. I know. Yakuza 3 and Shenmue 3 are two games I only played the beginning of that I'm really enjoying. And there's one more similarity I'll tell you about Shenmue and Yakuza. One more similarity. It's kind of a bad one, but not really, depending how you look at it. Let me explain what I mean. There's going to be douchebaggy asshole fucker heads out there that's going to, whether, it's just their opinion, it's whatever, but they're going to tell you, do not listen to these people because it's not true, it's bullshit. They're going to tell you that both Shenmue 3 and Yakuza 3 are the worst of their franchises and they're not worth your time playing. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. Give the goddamn game a chance before you listen to any of that stuff, okay? Please. But it's true. People out there will do that. That's what I mean. That's what I meant. Yeah. It's so frustrating. I love both games so much. And I'm like, I just want to enjoy them. I'm not changing my mind. Because there's people out there just like me who knows bullshit. It is. People out there love Shenmue 3. People out there love Yakuza 3. Good for you, man. You keep loving them because they are good fucking games. I'll be the first person on the internet to defend these fucking games at the same goddamn time. Okay? I swear to God. Here we go. Masterpiece. Now shut the fuck up and let's enjoy the game, okay? Okay. Thanks, you fucker. Seriously, shut the fuck up. I'm sick of this shit. Goddamn. I'm not kidding. I really am sick of it. Alright. Now, moving the fuck on. Goddamn it. Seriously. Alright. So, yeah, Yakuza. Great, right? So, but no, because it's sad. So, and it doesn't end with these games. It just doesn't end for the poor bastard. I mean, oh, and I forgot about fucking Shinji. Oh my god, Shinji. Who the hell is Shinji? So, near the beginning of Yakuza 1, before Kiryu goes to jail, let me explain why he goes to jail. Now, okay, I'm jumping all over the place again. Okay, so, in the beginning of Yakuza 1, you see that Kiryu is starting off his own, like, clan. Now, here's the thing about Yakuza, okay? The actual Yakuza are very dangerous people, but these games are about people who are in the Yakuza with hearts of gold, with actual souls. Souls with hearts of gold. They are man's man, like Goro Majima, Kazuma Kiryu, and to some extent, Akira Nishikiyama. Yeah, well, there's other characters too, but poor Nishiki, man. He did not deserve what he got. He did not. Neither did Kiryu, but fuck, it's really sad. I really hate the way this game ends. Like, it's just so fucking too much. It really is. You fight Nishiki at the end, and it's like one of the worst video game final bosses of all time. Just because of like how emotionally challenging it is. Like, just for you the player, you're gonna be like, this is my brother, my best friend, and now I have to fight him. Like, fuck. And you don't kill him. That's not what happens. Kiryu doesn't want any of it. He doesn't want any of these things to happen. He's like, I don't want to fight you. And Nishiki is kind of the same way, but he just doesn't say it. He's too angry and hurt. So they fight anyways. It's really fucking sad. You have to see the ending of this game to know what I mean. If you're sitting there like, oh man, like this video went from Shenmue is beautiful to, oh my god, Yakuza is so fucking sad. I know, it's like a complete whoa, like 180. Yeah, these games are incredibly different. So remember the whole Dreamcast PS2 thing I was saying? I forgot about that. Let me get back and check out that really quick before I forget. So one big difference between Shenmue 1 and Yakuza 1, or even Shenmue 2 and Yakuza 1, is that this game is like the game for the Dreamcast that was super big, super popular, super expensive to make. Oh yeah, that's right. Shenmue was actually the most expensive game ever made at its time. Yakuza is kind of cheap and quick to make. It's not very popular, but both games have a very passionate head director. Nagoshi really wanted to make Yakuza. He actually helped create Shenmue. He did. He also made Super Monkey Ball, and I think he made Judgment. Right, yeah, the side series. So Nagoshi really wanted to make Yakuza. It took him years. This game came out in 2005. Or I think it actually came out in 2006. Here in North America it did. 505 in Japan. Right around when the PS3 came out. Yeah. This is a super late, somewhat, PS2 game. Not really, because the PS2 was still supported very strongly at the time, but still, like, you know, that's pretty crazy, right? He got to make a PS2, two of them, Yakuza 1 and 2, right when the PS2 was coming out. Yeah, it's nuts, I know. But it's one of the it's graphically speaking, it is one of the weaker games. And gameplay-wise, it's kind of a clunky game. It's like, oh boy. It is. It's a real clunker. The way it like controls and stuff, it's very tankish. It's like very slow, very sluggish. It's not very fluid. Shenmue's very fluid. It feels very real. Like, you know, you go out and run and walk and stuff and just fight. And Shenmue is the video game I have played that replicates martial arts to a fault, to a T, incredibly well. And I said all this stuff in my Shenmue 1 and 2 reviews. Go and watch those. Go watch my Shenmue 1 and 2 retrospectives right now. And I don't think I got a chance to make a video of how much I love Yakuza yet. Yakuza is a very radical, fucking badass, kick-ass series too. It has its tragedies, but it also has its awesomeness. You know, there's a lot of combat, there's a lot of fighting. You know, Kiryu learns how to. He has his own masters too. He has his own ways of learning things. So does Goro Majima. He has his own goofy antics. Like when you actually play the main game itself is actually kind of fun and funny. There's actually really hilarious like side stories that are very adult. And, like, there's a lot of really in your face adult humor in Yakuza. Again, these games are made for actual adults. I know they're rated for M for mature, but do not look at that and take that with a grain of salt. You have to understand, like, you know, the world basically if you want to play Yakuza. It's really, really, really funny. It really is. And another difference with Shenmue, it's teaching you about the world. Yakuza's like, you gotta know this shit by now. It's kind of like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Okay. So, anyways. There's a lot of fun side stories in Yakuza. A shit ton that are just fantastic. But yeah. So yeah, Yakuza, I already said it. And the PS2 and Dreamcast are like completely different opposite consoles too. So there's that as well. Okay, so yeah, the story of Yakuza 1. I was talking about deaths and everything. And then there's that sad shit. And then Kiryu and Nishiki both go through a lot of tragedy and they handle it in different ways. So Kiryu is about to get his own family, right? It's starting off for him. And then he has his right-hand man named Shinji. He's his buddy. You know, this is before Nishiki's downfall. Nishiki and Shinji got along, I think, previously also. So then Kiryu, it's like Christmas time. Each game, at least the first 3 games, including Yakuza 0, so 0, 1, and 2, take place around Christmas time. Yeah, I don't think 3 does. 3 takes place like in like a more like tropical setting. It's still Japan, but like, you know, the characters are like wearing like Hawaiian shirts and stuff. I think it's supposed to be summertime. It's kind of like a relaxing setting. Tragedy still happens, but of course, because it's a fucking Yakuza game. You can't have a Yakuza game without something sad happening. Haruka gets in a fucking car crash and she almost dies in Yakuza 6. Yeah! These games just do not give Kiryu a break. He almost loses his daughter. And that's pretty sad. He doesn't, thankfully, but he almost does. Holy shit! That's super fucking sad. Alright, I mean, I know, these games just do not give the poor guy a break, right? Seriously. And Majima has his own tragedies that he has to deal with. Oh my god, like, apparently, he does get married, but it doesn't go well for him in Yakuza 5. That kind of happens too. I don't know the whole story behind it yet, but I do know that is true. Okay. Sorry. After this, I really want to get back to playing Yakuza 2. I'm sorry, I really do. And Shenmue 2. After I'm done talking. Oh, I mean, Kiwami 2. I'm playing Shenmue 2 on the Dreamcast right now again, but I'm playing Yakuza Kiwami 2 again as well on the PS4 because, well, that's because I made a whole new account because I kind of want to restart because of trophies and stuff. It's a long story, I know, but the point is that I want to restart my Yakuza games because, yeah, because I didn't do as much as I wanted to do when I first played the game, so, you know, with the content that's in them. So, anyways, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked, moving on. Yeah, so Shinji is important, and there's a reason why I mentioned he gets killed off years later, and it's really sad for Kiryu. He loses everything. He loses his father, his 2 best friends, Shinji and Nishiki, Reina, his other sister besides Yumi, and he eventually loses Yumi. But he also gains a very important friend that sticks with him to the very end of his games, Date-san. D-A-T-E is like date. He is a detective that started off as being very hell-bent on figuring out what's really going on with Kiryu. Kiryu turns himself in after Nishiki kills the head master of the Tojo clan. Why does he kill him? Why does Nishiki kill him? Because of Yumi. He was trying to rape Yumi. This man, the headmaster, was trying to rape the woman that Nishiki loved. Right, pretty dark shit. So he kills him. He didn't mean to. He just reacted. He was freaked out. He's like, don't do that. I love this woman. And he kills him. And then Kiryu comes to find out what happened. And he takes the fall for Nishiki. He goes to prison for 10 years. From 1995 to 2005. He gets out. The world has changed quite a lot in between then. I was the ages of 1 to 11 or so. So, yeah. And I remember, yeah, it was like the big technological leap with phones and everything. Yeah. And gaming has changed a lot too between then. Right. There was a lot of different big technological leaps between 1995 and 2005. There's been a lot. Yeah, TVs and phones and everything and game consoles. There's been a lot. And computers too. Yeah, I think the world has changed quite drastically. So in the game, it kind of explores that. It really does. Sorry, my shoulders kind of hurting a little bit. It's like sore a little bit right now, but it happens sometimes to me, but I'm okay. So yeah, there's that. And then Nishiki's life goes down spiral. One huge thing that really is sad for Nishiki that happens to him is that he has an actual blood biological sister that is dying in the hospital. She's not making it. He needs money to pay for her surgery. So there's this piece of shit asshole doctor that's like, I need the moolah for this shit. Shinji does a lot of awful inside jobs with this guy in his own family, in his own clan, to get the money, but it's all in vain. His sister doesn't make it anyways. Now, to this fucking day, I really believe that Kiryu should have gone to prison instead of Nishiki. I think that Nishiki should have gone to prison instead of Kiryu. I don't know how dramatically different that would have been. Nishiki never visits Kiryu when he's in prison. No one really does, but I believe without a mind's doubt that Kiryu would visit Nishiki. Now here's the thing. Everyone was trying to kill Kiryu when he was in prison because everyone believed that he killed the Tojo clan master. Nishiki's a fucking strong spirit guy. Their tattoos are the koi fish and the dragon. Nishiki's the koi fish, Kiryu is the dragon. For those of you who do not understand what any of that means, and for Japanese culture, it's supposed to it's a very symbolic symbol. It's a very symbolic like situation. What I mean by that, or it's a very symbolic just like thing between them. The koi represents like you're swimming upstream and you want to make it to your very, very top until the koi eventually turns into the dragon. The dragon is supposed to represent you're already there. You're a badass. You're the top of the top. That's what it represents. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because my point being is that in Yakuza 0, Nishiki was a fucking badass. He kicked ass for Kiryu all the way through the game. He was do or die for him. He really was. And I think that relationship would have for sure continued if Nishiki had gone to prison. As for his sister, Kiryu was on his way to being his own chairman. I think he would have more than enough money to make sure she made it. And I think she for sure would have. I think he for sure would have done it for her. Now in this situation, Kiryu says, I will take the fall for you, Nishiki, because you gotta be there for your sister and for Yumi. But I don't think Kiryu realized that he could have been there for his sister. It's not that he doesn't care. Maybe he doesn't know her that well, but that doesn't really matter. He knows that she's important to Nishiki. He knows where she is. He could have time to go to jail, to the prison, talk to Nishiki there, and get information about the hospital and take care of her. Let his people do it for him. It would have happened. And Yumi and Kiryu would have had Haruka on their own. And Reina would have been able to live. The reason why Reina, the hostess of Reina Serena, is important is because she loved Nishiki very much. And this is where it gets really fucking sad. This is where it gets really sad to the point that it would probably make anyone cry because it's super like, what the fuck? Nishiki is just so in much disbelief of what's happened to his life that in one situation, Nishiki and Reina are talking at Serena. They're arguing and it gets heated. And Nishiki doesn't know what to do about Yumi, or he doesn't know what to do about his sister. I think now Yumi disappears. She goes through a lot of trauma. That's another thing. I think if Kiryu stayed with Yumi, he would have been able to be there for her more, and she would have been with him for sure because she loved him and she trusted him. I think for sure after what happened with Nishiki and her and what's his name, the Tojo guy. I keep forgetting his name. Dojima. That's right. Dojima. His son is really important. He actually becomes the new head of the Yakuza clan in the games. He's very important to the whole story after the first game. I believe that Yumi and Kiryu would have really helped her out psychologically. He would have comforted her. He would have been there for her. She would have listened. She would have never met Jingu. Then they would have had their own child. Who knows? It would have been if it was a boy or a girl. I still think their name would have been Haruka. Haruka is a non-androgynous name. I think that means like it doesn't matter what the gender is, because I know for a fact because there's a character in another anime that my wife loves who's a boy. I think it's free. The swim anime. The main protagonist's name is Haruka, and he's a male. So that's how I found out that the name Haruka is indeed androgynous. So if that's the right word to use, I think it is. I don't know, but yeah. So Haruka, whether Haruka was a male or female, I think their name would have still been Haruka, for without a fucking doubt. It's a very gorgeous name. I forgot what it meant, but it meant something really important. And I do believe that Ryu and Yumi would have had a child, and they would have done that, for sure. And he would have taken care of Nishiki's sister. He would have visited him in jail. He would have had his sister visit him. Now, there's the point of everyone trying to kill the person who killed Dojima. Where am I going with this? Nishiki could have kicked ass and held his own. Have you watched My Hero Academia? Think of it like that. As Deku. You know how Deku goes through so many challenges? He's like, I'll do my fucking best to get past this challenge. That's what Nishiki would have been like. He'd be like, you want to come at me? Come on, asshole, let's fucking go. That's exactly what it would have been like. I think Nishiki would have had the motivation to keep himself alive because he knows in his heart that his family is waiting for him and they're doing their best for him while he's in prison. I don't think anyone that cared about him would have given him shit for killing Dojima. I think Kiryu would have been surprised that he killed a human being. But for the reason why he did it, I think could be understood through at least Kiryu. He's like, I get it. Like, if I was in your shoes, I probably would have reacted the same way. I think Kiryu would have told something Nishiki like that. Now, this is just a what-if Yakuza story I've had in my mind for a very long time. I really want to write it out, but I'm already explaining it through a video. But I believe it. I believe this is exactly how things would have gone for them. I think their lives would have been a lot fucking better if Nishiki went to jail instead of Kiryu. He killed somebody. It sucks. It's awful. But at least he's doing his sentence for it. And at least he doesn't have to worry about his life when it's over. Right, and that's incredibly good. I'm pretty sure he feels awful that he killed a human being. But this Dojima guy was a bit of a scumbag anyways. You know? I'm not saying he should have been killed. I'm just saying, you know, he loved Yumi. He had to protect her. And he didn't have to kill him. No. He could have done something else. He could have kicked his ass. But he was going to rape her. He was traumatized by the fact that this man was about to rape someone they cared about. You don't always react the way you want to when you get traumatized. And I know this through life experience. I haven't done anything illegal or anything like that, but I just, you know, through people who I know and whatnot, this is just something that I can understand, is all I'm trying to say. So yeah, man, that is what it is. That is what it is. So he did what he did, and it wasn't that he got away with it. Well, yes, but not really. And it really destroyed him. It did. He didn't know what the fuck to do with his life. He killed again. He really corrupted the Itojo clan, and it just gets awful. Now, Yakuza 2. We got to talk about Yakuza 2 for a little bit. It's only fair because I talked in gush about Shenmue 1 2. So how is Yakuza beautiful in its own way? Well, it's a story about a man having to deal with so many different hardships in his life and how he handles them. And he always he never, ever loses himself. He never does. Ever. And that is hard to do for some people. You know, I've experienced a lot of tragedies in my life, and I usually do end up losing myself sometimes. And it sucks. And I don't mean to, but it happens. With things that get really difficult. Granted, I don't think Kiryu has ADHD or autism. I don't think that fully matters. But the point is that he never loses himself. He's a very strong man. And he does his best to stay that way. And Majima is no different. Now again, these lessons, elements, story beats and whatnot are not in Shenmue. Shenmue is not that kind of story. The Yakuza's pacing isn't like it's slow at first and it gets better. It's always like, it's kind of always the same pacing. You know, pacing isn't really at the forefront when it comes to Yakuza. It's more so about like, there's just so much shocking shit right now. I don't have time to fucking like take this in. Like, holy crap. Ooh, something called, yeah, Yakuza's crazy, right? Clearly, but it's very good. In the gameplay part, the story is like, whoa, with the story. But the gameplay is like, hey, this is actually pretty fucking funny and great and amazing. The combat is badass. It's like Streets of Rage in 3D. I would say so. Pretty much. Yakuza, I mean, Shenmue ain't like that. Shenmue's like, if you've ever played Virtua Fighter before, hopefully you've had. I think not everyone has. It's exactly like Virtua Fighter, but like, tell you, like its fullest potential. That's what Shenmue is. Virtua Fighter 1 is like a beta baby Shenmue fighting like game. You know, it's like Shenmue at its very beta infant state. That's what Virtua Fighter 1 is. So go to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, or go to 2 to 3, go to Virtua 1, 2, and 3. You have Shenmue. And then 4 and 5, I haven't played them yet, but they are pretty... I have played Virtua 5, it is pretty good, but, you know, that's a long story. That's for another time. But yeah, so, man, what time is it? Right now, it is almost 11:30. Okay, so, Yakuza 2. Wow! What can be said about Yakuza 2, which makes it very special? Well, I told you, in Yakuza 0, the heart of the story is Makoto, right? Yakuza 1, the heart of the story is Haruka. So, can you guys take a wild guess who the heart of Yakuza 2 is going to be? Now, if you own the Steelbook version of this game, you might know where I'm going with this and why I check out the slipcover. You might know exactly where I'm going with this. So, is the heart of the story of Shenmue, Yakuza 2, another female character? No. Believe it or not. This gentleman right here is the heart of Yakuza 2. Ryuji Goda. And believe it or not, he is the antagonist of the story. With a heart of gold. Yeah. This game is his story. And it all comes full circle at the last chapter of the game. There are a lot of revelations. So Yumi dies in Yakuza 1, right? Yakuza 2, there's a female cop character named, it's like Sayota, I think, or Sayama. She falls in love with Kiryu. She takes him into custody. She has to like be like, I'm on your ass about some stuff because they need to learn about some stuff with Yakuza. She hangs out with them. They fall in love. At least she falls in love with him. But I think Kiryu would have for sure stayed with her. They actually end up having big feelings for her. But at the very beginning of Yakuza 3, she leaves and moves to America because she's a cop and she's like, it's just better for me if I go to America for my business. I'm sorry, but I have big opportunities there waiting for me. And she tells Kiryu that she wants to be back for him, but no, she moves on. It's not that she's in love with him anymore, but she chose to move on. Yeah, it's sad. Kiryu ends up alone, but he had two women in his life that he loved and cared about. And for all we know, they never had sex or anything like that. Intercourse, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Because all matters to a man here, Kiryu, is that he loved them very much. One died, one moved to another country. Well, but Kiryu himself says he's praying to Yumi's grave, and he says that he's converting his love for Yumi to Haruka. That is very beautiful. That is a very beautiful thing for a man to say. Without a mind's goddamn motherfucking doubt, Kazuma Kiryu is a man's man. He is a fucking man. He is the definition of a human man. He really is. He really, really is. And Goda here is no different. But there is one big difference. Look at his tattoo. And look at Kiryu's tattoo. The dragons. That's a big conflict with the game. They're both the dragon of Kamurocho, and one's gotta go. It didn't really have to be that way. I don't think Kiryu fully agreed, but Goda brought it on. He brought on the challenge. Kiryu's like, I agree, but I don't think he agreed to Goda dying. Sorry for the spoiler. Yeah, the whole game is Goda's story, and he fucking dies. And to make things even 20 times sadder, a million times sadder, you find out, again, spoilers, Sayama, the woman that falls in love with Kiryu, is his sister. They're long-lost siblings. So when they find out, they're on top of the Millennium Tower. It's super important. It's like this tall-ass building that was built in 2000, Millennium Tower, that's right in the center of Kamurocho. And in Yakuza 0, it is a big, important deal. It's not in this game. It used to be referred to as the empty lot. That is a big... This game should be called Yakuza 0, subtitled The Empty Lot. If you play the game, you'll know why that's a huge fucking deal. Yeah, it is a huge fucking deal. Yeah, man, Yakuza's sad. It really is. Oh shit, sorry. So, at the end of Yakuza 2, Kiryu and Goda fight. They fight the top of the main tower, and there's a bomb, and Sayama's in tears because she just found out he is her brother. She's like, I don't want to watch the man I love fight another man I love, my brother, to the death. And it's super fucking hard for her. And yeah, Kiryu does not kill. Now, one thing that Nagoshi goes on record saying is that Kiryu has never killed another human being. We don't know. Okay, the combat in the game says a different story. Okay, the combat in Yakuza is very violent. It's fun, violent. It's like goofy violent. You know, the characters like react goofy and stuff. It's not like super like shocking. But it is shocking, but like in a very funny way though. They do it in a very perfect, funny way. But it looks like Goro, Majima, and Kiryu are killing people, but you don't really know. You don't really know. So I don't know. It's whatever. So like these trilogy of games tell like a complete story from beginning to middle to end. That's like just full of tragedy and crazy shit. They're all about, you know, Kiryu, Majima, Haruka, Nishiki, and Goda, and even Sayama and Yumi to an extent. Oh yeah, and Makoto. She actually appears again in this game and Majima's side story. But yeah, and that's all I can tell you so far because I just started Yakuza 3. I love it to death. I don't think it's a bad game at all. No, so I'm feeling very dehydrated right now. But if I could cry, I would. But yeah, I'm telling you, yeah, Yakuza's sad. If you want to play these games, I hope you enjoy them. The gameplay is one of the most funnest, goofiest gameplay experiences you'll ever have. But the story will be one of the tragediest you will ever experience in gaming history. So, it's hard for a character like Kiryu to heal through these hardships when he has to keep going through them. But Ryo Hazuki is trying to heal through what he has been through. Yeah, guys, it's crazy. Alright, well, that's how they're different. There's so many different ways how they're separate entities. And I thought of this analogy before I started the video. Yakuza and Shenmue are like two giant mountains. They're giant mountains that you're going to see right in front of you next to each other that look exactly the same at face value. But then when you go and climb one here, it's like, okay, and you climb it down, and okay, now it's time to climb this one. You walk up to it immediately. When you get close to the other mountain, you see right away its structure, its formation looks incredibly different. So then you start climbing, you're like, dude, this is very not the same at all. Right. So, yeah, that's exactly what these games are like. I should have said in the very beginning of the video, I'm fucking tired. It is late at night now. It is like almost midnight. I want to get some water. I want to go chill and play some Yakuza and Shenmue 2. So I'm going to go do that. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry things became very downerish right near the end of the middle and stuff. I said everything I need to say about these games. I'm sorry the video went on for like over 2 hours. I think almost 3 hours. I'm going to be making it this long. Yeah. If you want to sit down and listen to me talk the whole time, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for seeing the very end. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope to God this opened up some insight, some inspiration, some thought, some food for thought, some actual open-mindedness, hopefully, to everyone watching this video, which is not even possible probably. But for the love of fucking God, keep your goddamn brain open when it comes to a good game. Please, don't be a hater. It's kind of shitty, but fine. Be a hater if you gotta be a fucking hater. Whatever. Can't really change your mind. Whatever. Whatever. Point is that I really hope to God this video did you a favor. And that you check out both games at your own time and convenience. They're both on PlayStation, they're both on PC, and they're both on Xbox. 1. That and 4 or 5 for PlayStation. That is another big comparison. Yeah. There you go. However, we still don't have our Shenmue 1 and 2 remakes, but yeah, it's whatever. If we ever do get them, I really hope to God they're saved data connects. Oh yeah, that's right. That's another reason. So like I told you before, how Shenmue's like one video game. Shenmue 1 and 2, the save data transfers over. But for Shenmue 2 to 3, it doesn't. Because, you know, different engine and everything. Believe it or not, Shenmue 3 could have been made for the Dreamcast. Because people, any indie developers still make Dreamcast games today, and Shenmue 3 is technically an indie game, and that could have happened, but it didn't. But that's a whole another discussion for another time. I'm tired, guys. I'm sorry it's late night. Oh my god, it's been a rough couple days for me personally, whatever in life. But things are kind of getting better, in case you're wondering. Which is why I really never have time to make videos. I want to make videos, but you know, some things come up sometimes. You know, I barely ever get a chance to get inspired to do something nowadays. But yeah, I will make a video. I don't know when this will come out, but around this video, I'm going to finally make my Sega Saturn video for my video game console reviews. That's going to be probably the last, this video and that video are probably going to be the last 2 videos I make for this year. Yeah, I'm sorry. If there's anything else, there's something else, but right now, that's it. Okay, and I might make my Panzer Dragoon 2 review if I can get around to it. Oh, and Knights! I've got to review Knights. Because that is a Christmas game, and it's right around that time, so fuck, I got my plate full. I only got 2 months to do all this shit. Oh my god. Hopefully I have time. I don't know yet, but thank you so much. I'm only one guy here, guys. Every video you watch, it's all me. I'm the only person doing all the work. I got 2 kids. I got 2 jobs also. One of them doesn't even live with me for my kids. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But guys, I'm glad you watched this video and everything if you did at the very end. I truly do appreciate it. I truly am grateful if you listen to everything I said. And if I made you feel really sad or somewhat hopeful, then I'm both like, I'm glad I did, but I'm also sad and sorry, you know, at the same time. But you know, that's just how Yakuza is. It's a very sad game. And that's how Shenmue is. It's a very beautiful, hopeful experience. There you go. There's another big fat difference between them. I'm telling you, they're not the same at all. And I hope that God this video finally helped people understand that. Alright, I don't know what else I can really do. I'm tired, exhausted, I'm out of here. Bye, peace out. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Long live both games. Bye-bye.